Mr. Strzok, on July 3rd, your lawyer, Mr. Goldman, made the following statement to Chris Cuomo on CNN regarding you, his client. On Fox News, they talk about him as the center of this anti-Trump cabal that was determined to throw the election against Trump. None of this has a shred of truth. Do you agree with this statement, sir?
I do.
And in a June 19th op-ed in USA Today, your lawyer said, regarding the Russia investigation, what we call the Russia collusion investigation, that you and your team, quote unquote, went out of their way to prevent leaks and actively ensured that news reports did not overplay the seriousness of the investigation. Is that true, sir?
Yes.
Now tell us why it's so important to prevent leaks from the FBI to journalists or to others.
Leaks are terrible. They undercut things in a variety of ways. They can upend investigations. They can lead to incorrect assumptions. They can let witnesses, subjects know that they're being investigated. They can lead to wild speculation, destruction of evidence, any number of really bad, disclosure of classified information, any number of really bad adverse things.
Got it. The DOJ IG's report has this to say about your involvement in the decision to inform Congress about the Wiener laptop. Quote unquote, Strzok explained that the decision to seek a search warrant for the Wiener laptop was known to many people beyond the mid-year team, and this raised a concern that this information could leak. Is this statement from the IG's report true?
Yes.
Now, could you unpack that for us a little bit? First of all, you said, according to the IG's report, that the search warrant for the Wiener laptop was known to many people beyond the mid-year team. Could you explain whether any of those people would be in the New York field office?
My recollection is that the investigation of the crimes against children case of Mr. Wiener was handled out of the New York field office by the Southern District of New York, or maybe the Eastern District. I think it was SDNY.
And so the people to whom you were referring included people in the New York field office, correct?
That's correct.
And you had concerns about their actions if Director Comey did not inform Congress about this Wiener laptop.
I did not have concerns about New York. My concerns were just general, that the more people who are aware of something, the greater chance that it leaks out somehow. But those concerns were not specific in my mind to New York.
Okay. Let me ask you about this. In a report, in that same report, Attorney General Loretta Lynch recalls a conversation with then Director Comey in the final days of the 2016 election. Quote unquote, he, referring to Comey, said, "It's clear to me that there's a cadre of senior people in New York who have a deep and visceral hatred of Secretary Clinton." And he said it is, quote unquote, deep. Were you aware of this concern?
I was aware of certainly some of the press reporting and some people expressing that concern, yes.
Was one of those people Director Comey?
A person having that concern?
Yes.
Yes.
Could you explain to me a little bit about that and how that, in your view, affected the revelation of the warrant for Wiener's laptop?
You'd have to ask Director Comey that. I think there was discussion, I remember, and particularly some of it was in the context of reporting from Mr. Giuliani and others talking about connections to New York. But again, I don't want to scapegoat New York because a lot of people were aware of it and there were concerns just about the number of folks. But with regard to Mr. Comey, my recollection is that he was aware of those concerns, but I was privy to discussions he had with the Attorney General or other concerns he might have had outside of my presence or conversation.
Now, with regard to Mr. Giuliani, on October 25th, then Trump campaign advisor Rudy Giuliani promised a quote-unquote pretty big surprise coming up in the campaign. On October 28th, Giuliani claimed to be in contact with former agents and a quote-unquote few active agents who obviously don't want to identify themselves. Let me make sure I have this right. There was a concern that there is a deep and visceral hatred towards Secretary Clinton in the New York field office. At the same time, Mr. Giuliani says that he's having contacts with agents, active agents. Can you give us your take on this and your comments on this particular issue?
I recall that comment. I recall it caused me a lot of concern.
And why? Why did it cause you concern?
Because while it's certainly possible that Mr. Giuliani is exaggerating or engaging in some sort of puffery, the reality is that also, given the things that were going on, given the timing that the laptop was there, and he was talking about that in the context of a big surprise, it caused me great concern that he had information about that.
In other
that he
words,
should not have had.
That he should not have had.
Correct.
Through a leak?
Through an unauthorized disclosure, sure, leak, yes.